Good morning everybody, welcome to another book pickup video. Today I'm going to talk about Percy Jackson and the Greek gods. I have talked about Percy Jackson before on this channel, but they were more of storybooks. This is more of a guide to Greek mythology, as this not only talks about the 12 most important Olympians, but also some extras and the beginning of Greek mythology. I'm really excited because this is probably one of my favorite books of all time. So, as the author said, get ready, it's about to get bloody. The first chapter starts out with the primary titans. They are Chaos, Gaia, the goddess of the earth, and Uranus, the god of the sky. Uranus and Gaia get married and have a lot of kids. The first are the 12 titans. Some examples are Rhea, Kronos, and Hyperion. After that, they have a set of triplets called the Cyclops. The Cyclops are as big and as strong as titans, but the biggest difference is that they have one big eye in the middle of their forehead. After Uranus saw the Cyclops, he got disgusted and chained them up and then threw them into Tartarus. Tartarus is like hell underground. Not to be confused with the underworld, we will talk about it later in this book. After that, they had another set of triplets. These are called the 100-handed ones. They are so called because they have 100 hands and 50 heads. After Uranus saw them, he did the same as he did with the Cyclops. Gaia got mad and told her remaining children, the Titans, that they have to kill their father, and whoever did it would become the king or queen of the Titans. The youngest one, Kronos, accepted the mission, but told her that he needed 4 of his siblings to help him hold his father while he killed him. So 4 of his brothers accepted, and they were Iapetus, Hyperion, Cryos, and Koios. Gaia invited Uranus to make up. So when Uranus arrived and sat down, Kronos and his brothers jumped out and held him to the ground. Uranus warned Kronos that if he did kill him, he would get cursed and that one day his children would kill him in the same way. Kronos ignores this and kills his father. After Uranus was killed, Gaia decided to celebrate by taking a nap, and Kronos freed the 100-handed ones and the Cyclops from Tartarus, and they helped him build his castle. As for the 4 that helped Kronos kill his father, Cryos became the Titan of the south, Koios became the Titan of the north, Hyperion became the Titan of the east, and finally Iapetus became the Titan of the west. But most importantly of all, Kronos became the king of the universe, and he became the Titan of time, which meant that he could control time by slowing it down or speeding it up. So Kronos lived happily for a long time, but there was still one problem that was at the back of his head. It was the curse that Uranus warned him about, that his children would one day kill him. So he decided not to marry, but after he saw that all of his brothers and sisters were happily getting married, he decided to marry his sister Rhea, who was also called the Great Mother. This is why all of her children are gods and goddesses, which means that they are stronger than titans. And that also means that each child is stronger than its predecessor. When Rhea had her first child, she gave her to Kronos to see. When Kronos saw the child, he immediately knew that she was stronger than him, and he knew that this was what the curse was about. So he panicked and decided to swallow the kid whole. They had 4 more children, which adds up to 5, but they are all gods and goddesses, which means they are immortal and they will live forever in Kronos' stomach. After the 5th child was swallowed by Kronos, Rhea ran away and got some advice by Gaia the Earth Mother, who was sleep-talking. She told her that when she has the next child, she should swap him with a rock and feed it to Kronos. After Rhea does have her 6th child, she names him Zeus and hides him in a mountain far away where he will get taken care of from some nature spirits. And then she gives the rock to Kronos, who immediately swallows it. During his stay on Mount Ida, Zeus learns a lot of skills from the nature spirits and satyrs, such as singing, dancing, and telling funny jokes. When he became a teenager, his mother told him that he should get a job as Kronos' cupbearer. So she takes him to Kronos and he accepts him because of the skills that he has. Soon he becomes attached to Zeus. Zeus also discovers drinking contests, in which all the contestants try to drain their cup as fast as possible. Kronos is a champion at this. One day, while they were having a drinking contest, Zeus poisons Kronos' drink, which makes him vomit up all of the children and Rocky. So Zeus escapes with all of his brothers and sisters and also Rocky. After their escape, Zeus and his siblings decide to go to Tartarus to free the 100-handed ones and Cyclops. After they are freed, they make Zeus some weapons, such as Zeus' lightning bolt, Poseidon's trident, and Hades' helmet. So Zeus decided to have a war against the Titans to kill his father Kronos, and the Cyclops and hundred-handed ones decide to help him. But the war lasted for a long time because unlike human wars, you cannot simply kill a person. You have to capture them and chop them up into tiny pieces so that they don't regenerate, just like Uranus. After a long battle, Zeus comes up with a plan and says that they should go on a nearby mountain to Mount Othrys, on which Kronos lives. It is called Mount Olympus. They go to the mountain and start attacking Kronos and his Titans, and the plan actually works. The Titans are captured, Kronos is killed, and Zeus becomes the king of the universe. And because of Mount Olympus, they are called the Olympians. We have finished talking about the Titans, and now we will start talking about the Olympian gods and goddesses. So we will talk about the Olympians in order of birth. Hestia is the first goddess to be born, and so she is the weakest of her brothers and sisters. She is one of the goddesses that do not marry, and she is the goddess of the hearth, which is a campfire in the middle of all Greek houses, which is used for cooking. The second goddess we are going to talk about is Demeter. She is the goddess of agriculture, and she has only one child, which we will talk about in a minute. Her most famous story is when a man tried to cut down some trees from her sacred grove. So she appeared to him disguised as an old woman, and she warned him not to cut the trees. But he ignored her, so she appeared to him as a true goddess and cursed him, so that he will forever be hungry and thirsty, and he will not ever be satisfied. Her only child, Persephone, is the goddess of the springtime, but she is not one of the Olympians, so she is not very important. She got kidnapped by Hades into the underworld, and they got married. The last first generation goddess that we will talk about is Hera. Hera is the goddess of marriage and is married to Zeus. Her sacred animal is the cow, and her sacred plant is the lotus. One of her most interesting stories is when she had a fight with Zeus because he kept having demigod children, so she told him that she would have a baby all by herself. Somehow she did, but when the baby came out, she saw that it was very ugly, so she threw him out of the window. Later we find out that this is Hephaestus, the blacksmith god. One of Hera's most important characteristics is jealousy. Because she is the goddess of marriage, she cannot remarry, and she has to be loyal to Zeus. Meanwhile, Zeus has a lot of demigod children and marries a lot of mortals and immortals. So one of Hera's most important jobs is to get rid of Zeus's wives and kill his children. The first god that we are going to talk about is Hades, the god of the underworld. He is married to Persephone, daughter of Demeter. In the underworld, there are 5 rivers. They are the Cocytus, the river of wailing, the Lethe, the river of forgetfulness, the Acheron, the river of pain, the Phlegethon, the river of fire, and finally, the Styx, the river of hate. Before Hades came to the underworld, dead spirits just floated around. But when he came, he made a new system. After a spirit dies, it goes to 3 judges who were kings before they died. Those judges see what each person did in their life and if they were good or bad. If that spirit was bad, they would go to the fields of eternal punishment. If they were good, they would go to Elysium. But if they were in the middle, they would go to the fields of Asphodel, which is not a bad or good place, but just extremely boring. But if that person was very, very bad, Hades would make up a special punishment for them. But most importantly, when you go to Elysium, you get the option to rebirth, which is to live again. If you go to Elysium 3 times in a row, after rebirth, you go to a special place called the Isles of the Blessed, which is like a Caribbean private island and is the best place you can go to in the afterlife. The second god that we will talk about is Poseidon. He is the father of Percy Jackson, the narrator of the story. He is the god of the oceans, he is the horse maker, and the earth shaker, which means he can make earthquakes. He has an underwater palace in which he has 50 beautiful women called the Nereids, in which he married one of them called Amphitrite. After he married her, he made her immortal, just like him. Poseidon also led a rebellion against Zeus with the help of Hera, sister and wife of Zeus, Athena and Apollo, who were both the children of Zeus. They all tied up Zeus while he was sleeping and told him that they had to rule democratically. When Zeus refused, they left him tied up. Fortunately for Zeus, one of the Nereids we mentioned earlier was passing by in Olympus. When she saw him tied up, she freed him. So he punished all of them. First of all, he punished Hera by hanging her over Mount Olympus and threatening her to cut the rope every day. Athena got away because she was wise and talked her way out of it, but Apollo and Poseidon got the worst punishments. Zeus turned them both into humans and made them work for the king of Troy. Apollo became a shepherd while Poseidon became a bricklayer. He built the whole walls of Troy that was massive in 6 years. After that, when he became a god again, Zeus told him that he cannot take revenge on Troy. But when the Trojan War, a big event came, Poseidon was not on the side of Troy. The third and final god that we will talk about is Zeus. He is the king of the world, god of sky and thunder, and the god of law and order. He is also married to Hera, the goddess of marriage, who we talked about earlier, and all of the second generation gods are his children. He also once destroyed the human race. Zeus's greatest enemy is Typhon. He is the son of Gaia and Tartarus, which means he is a giant. He is described as a monster with 100 dragon heads and the personification of volcanic forces. He wanted to take over the world, so after he was conquered by Zeus, he was cast into the underworld.